So I'm Manick Bhan. I'm the founder and CTO of LinkGraph. So I'm an entrepreneur. I've been building tech companies for the last decade, scaling software companies that I write the code for and I build from the first line of code up to millions and millions of dollars. I'm working on my third technology company, which is called LinkGraph. My first tech company was an e-commerce company in the mobile ticketing space, competing with StubHub, scaled it to over 100 million of revenue and beyond through digital marketing. And what I've been on the mission to understand and perfect is how to scale SEO to the clouds. And so through LinkGraph, we are a white label SEO provider for agencies. We work with brands, and we secure a massive amount of links every month. We write a massive amount of content for over 100 people, and we've automated and mechanized a lot of the processes that are required to scale SEO through a combination of AI, software, and good old-fashioned elbow grease. We also launched our software platforms called Search Atlas. It's doing very well. It was number one on Product Hunt. And I also spent a lot of time consulting with brands, everything from Fortune 500 companies like the Olympics, Google, Facebook, all the way down to SMBs. And so saying all this, not so much to brag, but just to say that I see a lot of different perspectives on the digital marketing landscape. We work with a lot of different people, different constituents in the marketplace who are running ads and scaling their digital marketing. And it's very interesting to see what's been happening today in the last, quarter. We're in times of incredible change. And I think those changes are going to present amazing opportunities for those who are really able to understand how to capitalize on them. So let's start with just a few questions. Does anyone know what happened to digital marketing? Digital marketing budgets in the last recession. Did they go up? Did they go down? Anybody? Up. Anyone want to say down? Okay, you said down? Interesting, cool. So actually what's interesting is digital marketing is incredibly resilient. Digital marketing, when you look at Google's revenue, every single year, Google has made more money. Doesn't matter what happens, Google will find a way, whether it means adding more ads into the first page of Google or monetizing through new ad creatives and ad formats, they will find a way to generate more revenue. Every single year, Google makes more revenue. So digital marketing on Google always increasing. And same thing with Facebook. Every single year, Facebook has scaled up their revenue. So the demand for digital marketing in recessions is incredibly resilient. There are pockets and sectors of weakness, but other sectors pick up and they buy more ads. The major shift that you actually see happen is actually traditional media. People move away from running campaigns on television, on radio, and they move over to performance marketing. The beauty of these digital marketing channels is that we get amazing attribution, we get great insight into our cost per click, into our cost per conversion, all of those analytics that allow us to do thoughtful investment of capital and scaling and building a bigger business. You can't do those things through traditional marketing. And so in this chart, you can also see how paid media spends across every channel have scaled over time. And as you can see, they're just going up and up and up every single year. And so I think in the times ahead, I don't really see us pulling back. I think it's going to continue to scale up. There are quarter-over-quarter fluctuations. You'll see that in the earnings reports, but the overall trend is always up and to the right. Remember, this is also driven by emerging markets, people all over the world, Latin America, Africa, Asia coming online and growing. New question. Is digital marketing, is it constrained by advertisers or ad inventory? What's the limiting reagent? Anyone?
Advertisers.
All right, raise your hand if you think it's advertisers. We don't have enough advertisers. Okay? And raise your hand if you think it's inventory. There's just not enough inventory out there. The correct answer is inventory. There is not enough inventory. In 2017, there was an inflection point in Facebook's business where there was not enough ad inventory. There were more advertisers bidding on a scarce supply of ad units. And what happens when that happens? we get inflation, cost per click inflation. We're reading about inflation in housing prices and food prices and all kinds of stuff. And the same is true in cost per click land, because there are more and more advertisers going after the same supply of clicks, of ad units. This is true on Google. It's not like there are new searches necessarily being invented every day. There's 4 ad units on the top of the fold and sometimes 4 on the bottom of the fold. That's a scarce amount of inventory. And every single year, there are more businesses, more advertisers, more people going after the same supply of ad units. So not everyone's happy about that. Understandably, myself included. The CPCs are going higher every single year, and that leads to higher customer acquisition costs. So probably every single business out there has seen this happen, that their cost per acquisition, the cost to bring in new leads through digital marketing channels goes up over time, and it has. In B2B, this is an average pool of 2,000 different companies, 2,000 different businesses. In B2B land, 70% increase in cost per acquisition over the last 6 years. And in B2C land, it's 60%. And some companies higher, some companies lower, but that's a lot. So I think it's a really important trend, and it teaches you something, which is that in the future, if you're just focusing on digital marketing and only focusing on trying to scale your ads, you're missing it. You have to focus on the product as well and improve your conversion rates. And we'll talk a lot more about that. In 22, however, I think we may see a slight decline in CPM. According to some data aggregators, data providers, they're actually seeing CPMs come in slightly lower. This kind of makes sense because $7 trillion of value has moved out of the equity markets. S&P 500 is down 18% since December. So what happens when all that money moves out? All of that private equity money is coming out. All of the public market money is coming out of the markets, drained out of the tech companies. They spend less money on growth, and they focus on sustainability and high ROI performance marketing. And that, I think, is a trend we're going to see unfold over the next 2 or 3 years significantly. The companies that are best positioned to be successful in the landscape are the ones who have done this omni-channel diversification. The days when you could just be a winner in one channel, those are gone. You can't just be reliant on SEM or Facebook ads or Google. You have to learn how to do it all. By show of hands, I know we have different companies, we have agencies. How many of you guys are omni-channel, your teams? How many of you guys have figured out an omni-channel approach? All right. That's good that there are people raising their hands, but that's like less than 30% of the room. This is key. And it's not just about like the marketing platforms. It's also about your own products. It's about pushing people into conversion funnels through email, through mobile apps. And that is the key. We have to learn how to do more omni-channel diversification. All right, next question. Which digital marketing channel has the highest ROI? Who wants to hazard a guess? Flynn? I'm just picking on you because you raised your hand earlier. Paid search? Okay. Why paid search, do you think? Okay. It's a good thought.
Paid search is my thought.
Bottom of funnel. High conversion rate. I'm sorry. Of course, and because Google tells us it's the best, it must be the best, right? Okay. That's a good guess. It's not actually Google search. Can anyone make another guess? You, sir. What's your name? Victor. Nice to meet you, Victor.
Victor. There we go. Seeing that you're the speaker, I would say SEO.
Ding, ding, ding. What do we have for him? Victor, we're going to give you an award. That is the correct answer. Nice job. So yes, so this was another study collected through a range of companies. And what the study found is that actually the ROI from SEO was significantly higher than the other channels. Now, why is that? Why do you think that might be?
I'm here around, so I don't know.
And does anyone have any thoughts or guesses on why that is? Okay, you want to be on the first page of Google, right? But why would organic search have the highest ROI?
Well, because someone's searching for that good or service immediately, you're going to be able to supply that and convert that lead more successfully.
Intent, yeah, intent is a big part of it. Intent is a very big part of it. The thing about SEO is it's creative, right? You can't just show up with a credit card and buy clicks, right? The other thing about SEO, it's kind of like a diamond. It's forever. Like once you get those rankings and you invest in your organic search, you keep your rankings and you rank for more things over time. In pay-per-click land, we have to pay per click. And as soon as our credit card is maxed out, we don't get any more clicks. So organic platforms like SEO actually outperform the paid channels. And email marketing is actually one of the most successful channels as well, because what is the cost to send an email? On Amazon SES, it is like 1/1000th of a penny. So you can send 100,000 emails for like $5, right? And out of those 100,000 emails, even if you get like 1% CTR, that's a lot of people entering your funnel. And when we're in a world, remember that cost per click inflation thing we just talked about earlier? Clicks are going higher and higher. They're super expensive. I would suggest to everyone in this room, when you guys look at your email campaigns and think about how they're performing, put a dollar figure next to them. What's your average CPC for your paid media? And multiply that by the amount of clicks you get from your email marketing. And now you have a dollar value of how much paid media spend you save with email. There's actually one other channel here. It's not actually a channel, it's a strategy, which is even better than SEO. Does anyone know what it is? It's a hard one. Anyone want to be brave? Victor?
Referrals?
Referrals?
Word of mouth?
Word of mouth. That's a very good guess. Almost. That kind of falls into influencer marketing, which is a very good channel as well. It's actually conversion rate optimization. Conversion rate optimization. That is how we build up our digital assets and make them perform better. So by example, if I spend $1 on Facebook ads and I get back $2, right, of profit, if I double my conversion rate, that $1 of spend is now going to bring me $4 of profit. That is incredible. And actually, A/B testing and conversion optimization is a tremendously underutilized strategy. And I would recommend everyone in the room, with your teams, look into it. It's an incredible way to boost your performance. And we'll talk more about it today as well. So a lot of changes have been happening in the digital landscapes. One of the key trends that we're seeing is that platforms are reducing referral traffic so that they can increase their user engagement on their platforms and drive people toward ad units instead of organic referral traffic. So example, Facebook killed organic reach. You guys remember when Facebook pages were a thing and everyone was promoting their Facebook pages and Facebook was like, come on, buy likes from us. We'll sell you likes. And then the poor staffs at Nestle invested $50 million in buying likes, and then they were told, sorry, those are worthless. That happened in 2012. And every year since then, the organic reach on Facebook has declined. They do this because they're trying to get people to buy more ads. Instagram, similarly, is never allowed outlinking because they just want you to keep scrolling in the feed. They don't want you to leave their platform. They want you to keep consuming more content. Similarly, Twitter and LinkedIn do the exact same thing. If you have a post that does not have a link in it, you will actually see that post gets a higher reach. Try it. Next time you go to post something on LinkedIn or you post something on Twitter, try to not include a link in your post. Put it in the comment, in the first comment, and watch what happens. Many studies have been done on this by Hootsuite, and they've reported this result, and I've seen this as well. It's a huge phenomenon. It's kind of unfortunate, but that's just the rule. That's just the game. Don't hate the player, hit the game. Same thing on Google. 50% of Google searches actually become zero-click. So now, each year that goes forward, have you guys seen those quick results? Like you Google something and then you see an answer pop up? Google's depriving publishers of that traffic because they want to keep the users on Google. And this is the most true on mobile. Probably you'll see it twice as much in mobile search as you will on desktop search. That's also the most true in popular high volume searches. So the move on Google is actually to go toward longer tail keywords that are actually bottom of funnel, higher intent, and desktop. Google's also expanding into new verticals. So recently they moved into jobs. So they're going after sites like ZipRecruiter and even LinkedIn. If you type in marketing jobs in Miami, you'll see a bunch of jobs pop up now. Of course, they're in flights as well. They're in concerts. They're in sports news. They're in every vertical. And each year that goes by, what Google does is they look at their cost per click by sector, by industry, and they'll see which industries constitute the highest amount of revenue for them. And they have gone down the list, starting with hotels, to flights, to tickets, to everything. And they build their own ecosystem, slowly sucking the value out of the space. And that's just been happening. That's just the way it is. So, it's not the best news. And, there's really nothing that we can do. This is capitalism, guys. This is how the game works. So what do? Build and improve your assets. We talked about conversion rate optimization. But one thing we haven't talked about is what you can do differently in this next cycle with your digital marketing. And one of the most successful strategies that we've employed is building free tools, free products, and putting it out there. We've done this with DA checkers, backlink analysis software, a whole bunch of stuff like that. And they just pile on links. We've gotten links from Neil Patel, gotten links from educational institutions. We've been featured in different roundups of free software tools. Free tools are an incredible way that you can get a huge amount of backlink authority online right now. And the beauty of it is that once you build the product, you get to benefit from that forever, capture that value to perpetuity. So this is really about long-term thinking, long-termism. This is not the time to be short-term minded. It's the perfect time to be thinking about the long-term horizon and investing in the future. The other really important component of this is focusing on your funnels, having good conversion tracking set up, understanding what your conversion rates are, and relentlessly driving them up through A/B testing. Now, Optimizely is probably the most well-known company that offers A/B testing technology. Their annual revenue is only $100 million a year. They're the number one A/B testing company in the world, and they only make $100 million a year. So it's not a strategy that enough people are using. It's an underutilized strategy. And if you look at this chart, you can see the delta, the performance differential between how a funnel can convert with A/B testing and without A/B testing. So if you can invest the energy and the time with your teams now over the next 6 months and work on your key funnels, drive up the conversion rate, you can have a huge impact on your business. At that point, it doesn't matter if the CPCs inflate by 10% a year. If you drive your conversion rate up by 50%, by 30%, every single one of your digital marketing channels will explode. The second key trend, how many of you guys have heard content is king? I know, I'm kind of picking on you guys a little bit. Someone offers an answer and they're not right. It's okay. But come on, you guys have heard content is king, right? It's like all over the internet. Everyone talks about this. Create content. This is rubbish. It's like not true. So many reasons for this. The search car insurance. There's about 1 million people that look for that every single month. Do you know how many Google search results are targeting that keyword? 35 million. And there are only room for 10 people on page 1 of Google. That's a lot of people trying and not a lot of people winning. 91% of content on the internet gets 0 search traffic. That's a lot of garbage content out there. So, with the proliferation also of other software tools, AI, we're seeing a massive expansion in the amount of content published on the internet. The amount of blogging that's happening is exploding. This is kind of what the internet looks like to Google. They've got 130 trillion pages indexed. They crawl 20 billion pages per day, and they host 367 million unique domains. Washington Post, as an example, they've actually been using AI to synthetically create content on social media and for SEO, fully AI generated. They're short form pieces, and the company that powers the technology creates 1.5 billion pieces of content every year. LinkGraph, my company, every month we AI generate 5,000 pieces of unique content, first drafts that our writers then edit and then publish on different sites on the internet. So AI is changing the landscape, making a huge impact. When I gave this talk like a year ago at ad world, we were just looking forward to GPT-3 being released. And now we're looking to GPT-4 being released. With GPT-3 already, the content you can create through AI is better than writers. It is actually better than our writers. We actually changed our writers into editors because the quality of the AI content we were synthetically creating was more detailed, more specific, had higher content scores, and performed well in Google. A lot of people will tell you AI content won't rank. It's not going to rank. That is not true. I could give you guys a list of blogs that are killing it in the SEO space, all AI generated content. And by the way, on our blog as well, we publish AI content to link back to our money pages, and all of it ranks. And if you look at our OT, it's exploding. Just to show you how far AI has come, I don't know if you guys saw the tweet by Chomath. He put in this AI prompt, crypto bro working at McDonald's in the impressionist style. And this is what the AI generator spit out. See this guy working at McDonald's with Bitcoin? Hilarious. But this was completely created by AI. There was no human involved. Can you imagine computers being able to do this? This is where we are today, and the technology is only getting better. OpenAI is the first people to open this up. But Facebook is working on the same technology. Amazon is working on the same technology. So everyone is moving in this direction. There's an AI arms race happening. And you could say AI in digital marketing is pretty hot right now. Looking at Google, specifically, Google is really focused on this AI content problem because they know 91% of the data in their index is totally useless. And they're always releasing new algorithm updates. SEO is actually, it's a mathematical equation. When you look at the way search results are ranked, it's math. They've got over 200 ranking factors. And so a lot of people think of SEO as being really complicated, but it's not. It's actually really 4 factors, which are authority, page experience, content, and industry and keyword specific factors. The Tao of SEO is actually quite simple, and I think everyone can master it. It's actually not that hard. Every year, I run a correlation analysis study on Major League Baseball tickets just to see how the SERPs are changing, to see what the ranking factors are doing and how they're evolving. And what's been fascinating to see is that these search factors are changing every year, and they're being updated over time. The way that they've changed is that authorities become less relevant than it used to be. It used to be all about domain authority. In the early days, you could just slap a whole bunch of links pointed to your website, and the site would rank, and it would just do beautifully. But that doesn't work anymore. Authorities become less relevant. And now, content quality scores are becoming more important, and the user is really important. Is the user staying on that page for a while? Are they interacting with the content? And so I like to say search has actually become more democratic. Remember when I said the whole content is king thing is pretty much dead? Well, who won? If content is not king anymore, who is king? The user is king. It's all about the user. This is the same trend we've seen with the organic traffic dying out, where Google and Facebook and Twitter and YouTube, they're all focused on keeping the user on the platform and engaged and not linking out. They want the user to continue their journey, to consume more content, to click on more ads. All right, so let's zoom out, taking the bigger picture. I know some of it was a little bit alarmist, but it's good to be optimistic. There's a lot of room for optimism in this room, I think. In organic search, there will always be opportunities. Yes, it is becoming more crowded. There are more people bidding on the same finite number of ad units. But the good news is that if you can't win on the short tail search, you can always go longer tail. There's always way more longer tail opportunities out there. And the great thing is that Google is not cannibalizing those keywords. And those keywords are also bottom of funnels. There will always be organic opportunities for our teams to chase after. The other thing is when you really zoom out, taking the bigger picture, emerging markets are growing. Every year, more people getting on the internet on their smartphones and on computers in Africa, Latin America, and Asia. And that's going to drive growth. And it's not just more people coming online. You can also see this if you study Google's data where they provide cost per clicks in emerging markets. You can see cost per clicks are going up globally because advertisers are realizing actually that traffic from Latin America, the traffic from Asia, the traffic from Europe, it's a global game. You can monetize all of those customers. And so it is becoming more of a global story, and the trend is very much up and to the right. The other amazing news is that SEO and digital marketing will I think, always be in high demand. SEO is not going anywhere. Some people think, after 5 years or after 10 years, the search engine will be replaced by something else. That is never going to happen. The search engine is, I think, one of the greatest technologies that humans have created. And by the way, what does your company do?
We supply sustainability and also still fossil fuel for different companies. So carbon offsets, BPPAs, that sort of thing worldwide.
Cool. I'm sure the CPCs are pretty high on some of those keywords, right?
Yes, and because we do have many different silos, at one point we were self-cannibalizing, so competing against ourselves for different industries with the same keywords. So that's managed by someone else, but we had never tapped into that before, and because of COVID, we had to look at how we can talk to people now because no one was in their offices, and our target audience was more face-to-face than anything else. So I think we're also in our infancy as far as the company I work for with digital. We launched that website in 2019 and it was just launched, but no one really gave it some love. And now it's become my baby. So
Excellent. Well, good on you. I'm sure you're going to take over and do an amazing job. And I'm happy to connect you to the software, get you guys on there and help you out.
Thank you.
So
Love to
find
talk
me
later.
after the talk.
Thanks.
Help you out.
Great. Any other questions? Amazing.
All right. My name is Mark. I don't want to sound dumb, but might not be as technical as the rest of the people in this room. So a lot of what you're saying kind of goes over my head.
Okay.
But I'm an owner of a new startup, a website, and something I'm hoping to build into a platform one day. But it's called almostbirthdayclub.com.
Nice.
And
Almostbirthdayclub.com?
almostbirthdayclub.com. Yes, almost.
Big market. Everyone here has a birthday.
Everyone here has an almost birthday too.
Touche.
If you have a Christmas, you have a Christmas Eve. If you have a New Year's, you have a New Year's Eve. And if you have a birthday, you have a birthday Eve. And, well, almost. That's my brand.
Love it.
Anyway, I just want to help the world understand they can celebrate more. They have the right. They have the birthday.
I think that's great.
Yeah. So how do I quantify how much money I should spend on SEO as a startup organization that's just getting going? But everyone's telling me different numbers, all kinds of different vendors. Everybody wants to, put me to work, put my money to work. And I don't know who actually understands these algorithms. What's real?
Yeah. I think starting out, taking it from 0 to 1 is the hardest thing to do. That's actually what I've done my entire career. Start a technology company, grow it from 0 to 1, and then 1 to more. And I sympathize with that. I totally get it. And the hardest thing is the information asymmetry, right? How do you know whether they know what they're talking about or if they're just full of shit?
Sure.
Hard to know. Short leashes and small budgets. Always start with a pilot. So what I would advise, if you guys are just starting off, if you're not sure what keywords to target, what keywords to go after, start with some light paid media, right? Use Facebook ads, use Google search, see what you can pick up. Most important, so can you give me an example? What keyword would you want to target?
Almost. Or birthday.
The keyword almost or birthday. All right. Tons of search volume for the keyword birthday. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but I can tell you it's a lot. But what's the search intent for the keyword birthday?
What?
The search intent. What are people looking for when they search for birthday?
A lot of people are looking for birthday clubs. They're looking for freebies, things they can get for their birthday. Who's giving away this, who's giving away that.
Okay. Interesting. So what about the keyword birthday club?
I like that.
Yeah. And it's probably not that competitive. So, okay. Do you use any software, any digital marketing software tools right now?
No, I'm just starting.
Okay, cool. So there are a number of free ones that you can kick off and start with. Neil Patel, he has Uber Suggest. You can use that. That's a decent starting point.
What's that called?
Uber Suggest. Uber Suggest. I also have my own set of software tools, which I think are killer and better than his. So Search Atlas is the name of our software suite. And you can do keyword research on there, keyword gap analysis. You can plug in your own data through Google Search Console Insights. You can run site audits. You can use AI to pump out content. We actually have a one-click integration with WordPress. You can write, and publish 6 months worth of content in 3 days, which we've been doing all day. So check it out. If you contact me, I'll hook you up with a free subscription so you can try it out
Thank you.
and help you figure out some keywords. But I think the first step for anyone who's in your shoes, I believe you're also an entrepreneur, sir, aren't you? Yeah. So the first thing to do is you really want to understand the keyword space you're playing in. So do keyword research, find similar keywords, find relevant keywords, and focus on intent. Do not aim for keywords like birthday that are top of funnel. You want to go to the bottom of the funnel. People who are looking specifically for your product, very high intent searches, lower search volume, and most importantly, low difficulty. If you Google something and you see Yelp or Forbes on the first page, run. You're not going to rank for that. It's not going to be easy. We have a metric called keyword difficulty, and it helps you quantify which keywords are easy to target, which ones are hard to target. Aim for anything below like a 25, and you should be golden. You should be
What kind of costs am I looking at starting out for like my first SEO contract with someone to help me?
I would suggest no more than 2K.
Huh?
No more than 2,000.
Thank you.
Start small.
Thank you. I'm done. I really appreciate your time.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Manick. That was fantastic.